I'm making one of the classic Greek Christmas cookies for you today, called Melomakarona. They're so good that we eat them all year round. The first thing I'm doing is sifting together my dry ingredients, flour, clove, and cinnamon, a little pinch of salt, and baking powder. You want to sift your flour because it gives the cookies a nice, tender, final texture. And now I'm going to mix together my wet ingredients. Melomakarona are traditionally an olive oil-based cookie. We call for a lot of extra virgin Greek olive oil. And I'm going to whisk that with the sugar. You might notice that there isn't that much sugar in here because these cookies will be dipped in a honey syrup after they're baked. Olive oil is actually a great replacement for butter in a lot of different desserts. You end up using a little bit less fat when you use olive oil instead of butter. But in these cookies, this is just a tradition. This is how these cookies have always been made. The sugar and extra virgin Greek olive oil are really nicely combined. The next thing I'm going to do is dilute my baking soda in a little bit of orange juice. And there's going to be a bit of a chemical reaction here. And that goes right in to the olive oil and sugar mixture. The acid in the orange juice reacts with the baking soda, and that's why you always do that first before adding it to the rest of the recipe. I'm gonna add a bit of Greek brandy. That's also a pretty common component in a lot of the desserts that we eat around Christmas time in Greece. A little bit of orange zest goes in here. Oranges are something that Greeks almost take for granted because they're all over the place. We squeeze them in the morning for juice. There are groves and groves of them in places like the Peloponnesos, in Argos, and there's something that we use both in savory and sweet cooking. I think I've done a pretty good job here. I just want to whisk this together. And next, I'm going to add my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients. And I'm just going to do that by hand, mix it in slowly. My walnuts next. As soon as this is combined, I'm going to start shaping my Melomakarona. The beautiful, soft Melomakarona dough here. You want to roll them around in your palm and get a nice, smooth surface. And you can see how beautiful that olive oil is glistening. I don't know about you, but for me, anything that's baked with cinnamon always is really enticing. And these cookies are no exception. I'm going to continue shaping my cookies, and then I'm going to get them in a 325-degree oven for about 20 minutes until they're lightly golden. And after they come out of the oven, I'm going to dip them in a special syrup. The Melomakarona are ready and looking really good and smelling even better. The whole kitchen suddenly smells of orange and cinnamon. As my cookies cool down, I'm gonna make the syrup to go with them. This is a traditional, delicious Greek syrup with Greek honey, sugar, and a little bit of water. You want to heat this until the sugar dissolves. My honey and sugar syrup are right at the point where the sugar's dissolved, and I'm going to add my cinnamon stick and that beautiful, refreshing piece of lemon zest for flavor. I'm gonna bring the syrup to a boil and then let it simmer for about 8 minutes. We don't want a really thick syrup here. We want a syrup that the cookies will be able to absorb when I dunk them inside. This is done. I'm going to remove the lemon zest and the cinnamon stick. And I'm ready to dunk my Melomakarona. You just want to get the cool cookies into the hot syrup. You can do this a few at a time if you want. This is a smell that I remember always at Christmas time. I used to wake up, to smells like this coming from the kitchen. And it's always stayed with me. And then just a very generous sprinkling of the walnuts. I have such a sweet tooth. I'm in two places. I'm in my dad's kitchen, but I'm also literally like on the inside of a mortar filled with walnuts and orange zest, because that's exactly what these cookies taste like. These are so aromatic. It is no wonder they've been around for a really long time. I better start plating because I'm gonna finish them all before I get a chance to share them.